Good morning. There is an old initiation story that says, before the journey begins, you and I own the journey. But once the journey has begun, the journey owns us. Does it feel like you and I are in a bit of an initiation? To me, it feels that way, and I'd love to hear if it feels that way to you. We're stepping over a threshold, a place we've never been before, a place where maybe we wouldn't have picked, but here we are on a journey, and the journey does own us. And to that point, I want to speak to all of us today, myself included, in encouraging those of us, maybe if you listened to my last episode, episode 5, where I talked about those who I'm talking to. If you have this unquestionable hope, this desire for progression and for psychological growth, if you are an individual who can see that the planet needs help and you want to be part of that help, you want to work on the systems, you want to be able to be part of the healing, you can see that we can treat one another in a more equitable fashion, in a more abundant way. If you can see that there are so many places, in fact, Michael Meade, quoting him, a scholar, author, he is definitely someone that it would be called a storyteller, has said, we are facing this cascade of things that we could pay attention to. And think about it, a cascade. At the top, there is something coming in. Then it trickles down, and right now in our face is this Black Lives Matter, this question of equality. There's also this political upheaval where it seems like we are polarized, and indeed, many times across partisan lines. And then we have a pandemic, a health crisis, not only because there is a virus, but also because some of us have not taken care of our health. And now we're even more vulnerable. We're even in a position where wellness is a question of who has it and who does not. This is a cascade. And at the top, the one that is bigger than all of them, the one that can take us, all of us, plants, animals, environment, of course, is the crisis of climate. So let's focus there for just a moment. There is this cascade. There are many places that if you feel like you're being called out to help, then indeed, this may be one discussion where you'll find some resources that you could add your resources to make a difference. Let's talk about the big one, the change in climate. And where might we start? Well, let's look at Greta Thunberg, the teenager, Time Magazine's 2019 Person of the Year. She is making not only significant changes geopolitically, but she is also making an attitudinal shift across the globe. So if you feel like the place where you want to plug in your power, where you want to be of assistance and service, where you want to give your gifts and your passion, look at this top of the cascade. And Greta might be somebody to follow, indeed somebody to learn about. She might be somebody to join. So consider looking at Greta Thunberg and see if she is someone that you would like to be able to be part of. Another place to look at is Clare Dubois. Now, Clare has created a group called the Tree Sisters. And Clare is somebody who has this distinct, incredible passion. What she's doing is taking $5, $10, $25 donations, and she's planting the rainforests again. She's replanting, reforesting all over the globe. She has massive efforts. So you might want to look at the link and wonder, should I be joining someone like Clare Dubois? Another place you could start, if you decide that you want to start up at the top, is to plant a tree in your yard. Learn to garden again. We have been gardeners, many of us. Go back to that. If nothing more, get your hands in soil. Plant some seedlings. Have a hanging garden in your home or in your apartment. Put your feet on grass. Get grounded once again. Return to a connection to Mother Earth. You have something very special to give. If you're one of those people that's being touched by this and that inner drive, this meaning the words you're hearing today, and that inner drive within you, that you want to be called out, then this is the invitation maybe you've been waiting for. Find a way to make a difference. If the top of the cascade is where you want to play, we'll be discovering other ways to play lower down on the food chain of that cascade. But for today, just remember this. Maybe 10 years, maybe a century ago, would have been the right time to start working on climate change. However, the second best time to start is now. Thanks for joining me. Go out, be a badass, and do something that heals the planet. Thanks for joining me.